Back-to-back defeats for Manchester United, sadly. Nottingham Forest coming to Old Trafford into United's backyard, claiming the 3-2 victory. We have so much to get through. We have so much to dissect. I have to go back in on my comments from my reaction right after the game today. I want to get all of your live comments in as well. Jay is with me live. We are doing the breakdown. We are dissecting everything that has happened in that game with Manchester United against Forest at Old Trafford. It was a very, very disappointing night for Ruben Amorim and the Manchester United side. It seems like we've gone backwards. I'm just going to open up and just say I'm completely deflated. Honestly, it has set me back. It has cut deep. It has hit hard. They're the words that I'm using to describe how I feel right now. Jay, just initial opening thoughts. Welcome to the show, buddy. I hope you're safe. I know you're over in Ireland there. I know you've had power cuts with the storms that have hit us. Apologies anybody if there's any lags or delays. We're trying our best just to get Jay in on the show here to get a bit of opinion. But Jay, while you're there and we have got connection, initial thoughts just over what we just witnessed there tonight, because it was disappointing, wasn't it?
Adam, I'll sum in one sentence. It's the hope that kills you. Today, the hope lasted 91 seconds. Can anybody please explain to me why Martinez is marking probably Forest's tallest centre-back for that corner kick? That is 3 goals conceded in 2 games from corner kicks. So why has Martinez been outbossed and outmanned by the tallest centre-back? It's absolutely bullshit.
Honestly,
and
I said it.
Then, man, I'm look, we have done our level best here, Adam, to put on the positive side. Okay, but let's be honest. Amorim, with all the powers of motivation and charisma that he has, he's not a panacea. And with these players, he's got a poison chalice in his hands, my friend.
This is a difficult one to take into it. Thank you, Modern Samurai, in the chat straight away with the donated memberships. Really appreciate that. Get all your comments coming, everybody. Get conversations going in the chat with people. We will come to the comment section as well as we get through the show. We want to get as much as possible and get everyone's reaction to that. I just want to say as well, I've been obviously, as you can imagine, bombarded with comments, messages, people going in on me for bigging up Manchester United's chances of making top 4. I'd rather be optimistic and say that Manchester United, and I believe in this team, that they can make top 4. So if you feel the urge to come in and slaughter me and say that I was completely wrong, I'm an idiot, like some people have said, and criticise what I have said, I had hope. I thought we had something in this team. I would rather come out and support what I think is there in the manager. I still see promise. I still see a run within this side. I still see promise within what Ruben Amorim is creating here at Manchester United, and I will continue to stick by it. I think there are bright sparks within what he has done so far, but I think the way I'm trying to do this, and some people can accuse me of trying to spin this completely, I feel like there is a massive positive to take from this above everything else, Jay, in that the mentality on show within his squad should tell him everything he needs to know before anything technical-wise, formation, system. It does not matter. Ruben Amorim, when he first came to Manchester United, said he was picking players off character. He's put a team out there today, what a lot of Manchester United fans would say is Manchester United's best 11 that we've got available to us right now. It's the best we've seen under Amorim on paper. And them words were ringing in my ears. I'm walking out of Old Trafford. I have to apologise to Kaz. I have to apologise to Miller, who was there with me at that game. I was a horrible person to deal with. I was absolutely dejected. It hit me like a ton of bricks, honestly. And I'm just being a fan. I'm just being honest. I'm just being how I feel. I'm just going to say it as it is. I always do that. I am a fan. I'm not trying to claim to be anything else. I get behind the team. I criticise. I feel like I do it fairly. And that's what we're going to do tonight again. But it really did just send a shiver down my spine. But the one thing that I clung on to, Jake, and I want to get your thoughts on this now, was Ruben Amorim's words. Just a week into the job, this came out of his mouth when he said, I'm selecting players on character. We're testing the character out of this Manchester United side so far, and we're trying to select a team around that right now. The system and the formation comes second. And that's all I'm taking from this, because he is really outing the players that have got zero character, integrity, intelligence, aggression, sheer will, pride, all of the words I can think of to describe what is wrong or what these players are lacking right now was on show again there tonight. Because I seen a majority of a team there that were just scared shitless, absolutely petrified. And you're a Manchester United player. That, for me, is the biggest positive I can take from this right now, Jay. And what Ruben Amorim said. The character of these players and the word mentality that keeps on popping up always. What did you see there, Jay? Let's take, for instance, Manchester United. At the point of going 3-1 down, what did you witness? What did you see within these players?
I think the word has come across the last couple of weeks. Josie referenced it a couple of years ago. Is dog. Where's the fight in the dog? I said in the show a month ago, I said I want these players to hunt in packs. I quote myself, but like rabid dogs. When we go 3-1 down, Adam, I saw a bunch of little puppies. They're literally were lying on their backs and getting their tummies tickled and look for treats. That's at home to the Forest. And also, Adam, to compound that, this is the lowest we've been in the league since December 1986. Forest hadn't beaten us at home since, 1994. And the mentality tonight of those players at home, shitty night in Manchester, one of your own fans who've travelled far and wide, brave the elements, and that's the shit you put up. You're a disgrace to your profession, the shirt, and the club. And when you left the ground with your daughter and Kaz, obviously, man, you were rejected, and I'm sure you're let one off. But from what I know of you, you're a total gentleman. I think tonight you've just been a pure fan. And after witnessing that tonight, if I was in the ground with you, I probably would have fucking punched somebody because I was angry at home. I actually broke a glass. I actually fucked a glass off the wall into that game. That's how angry I was. So I get your anger into the game. So, Cass, if you're watching, darling, I get it, okay?
Yeah, honestly, it does feel good sometimes speaking to people and just knowing that everyone else is suffering together. And that's what we do like here on Forever United TV. We like to get everyone else involved. We like the chat involved as well. And I just, like I said, I've done a poll at the start, AJ, and I just want to gauge everyone's feelings about this. What was more disappointing tonight? I've got 4 options up there, and I'll get you in your opinion on this right now. The substitutes, Diogo Dalot, Alejandro Garnacho, or Andre Onana. Because I'm saying this, and I'm just being honest here right now. I was at the game. I've only just got back from the game. You've all seen my vlog from inside the stadium. I sat there watching them players do a lap of whatever you want to call it. It wasn't honour. I can definitely tell you that, because there were boos in Old Trafford again for the players' attitudes in that game. And I came out of the stadium and them 4 things came up. People came out. Dalot, absolutely shocking. Sell him right now. Get him gone. Finished. Garnacho, he just looks scared. He's not willing to take anybody on. And then the substitutes. I've seen people in the chat already in this live show alone, as well as people outside Old Trafford, saying they absolutely destroyed the game. They killed it dead. And then top of the list, and he's got 74% of the vote right now, is Andre Onana. Oh my God. Like, Ruben Amorim has come out and defended him, Jay. Quickly, before we get into what Ruben Amorim has said, your thoughts on them 4 there, mate? Because that, from the ground, I don't know what it was like, because obviously I've not spoken to anyone yet who watched it on TV like yourself. This is my first sort of interaction on that side of things. Onana, Dalot, Garnacho, the substitutions, they were being talked about a lot outside of Old Trafford, walking out there. And that's just listening to people, not talking to them, listening to conversations, Jay.
In order, Garnacho first. Garnacho's playing scared. He looks like a scared little boy. We've always said we won't go in hard on young players, but I think the pressure of being United's first choice left winger is getting to him. I don't think he can cope with the pressure, and he's trying to do too much and making silly mistakes. Dalot, last season, one of our best players. This year, he's a contrast. I thought he was shotgun tonight. Then Onana, you and I gave him his plaudits when he deserved them a couple of weeks back. But the first goal can he for the corner? No, probably not. That's more Martinez. Second goal, he's stood in the middle of the goal and he feints to go left. The ball goes right, and he does not have the reaction time to stop an easy shot. The third goal, that header from Wood, that's a looping header to the back post. And I think Onana, again, you come out, command your boss, grab the fucking ball, mate. So, like, where do we go? Onana's going to be first choice until May. Do you think Amorim is going to have the balls to drop him and play Bandier on Thursday night? It's a case to be called for it. Send Onana a message. I know we should have drop ball.
Well, that's it. I feel like, looking at it, that the keeper counts as part of the team. Everybody else is getting dropped. Like Bruno Fernandes was being brought off. I can still see people talking about Bruno. He made the mistake for the second goal for Gibbs White. Criminal, yes. You could see what he was doing. It was just pure execution. And Yorwood got ahead of the ball from what I seen there. But Bruno tonight, like, involved in the first goal, fantastic goal for the second goal that gave us hope. When Bruno Fernandes went off the pitch, Manchester United died. And it was clear for everybody to see. There was no creative spark at all. So I think the argument with Bruno in terms of what he brings that risk. And when we're asking players to be brave, when we're asking players to do something different, not be scared, look at Bruno Fernandes. That epitomises everything that Manchester United were missing when he went off. And you can say he makes mistakes. He tries to play the Hollywood ball. He tries to take risks. But I tell you what, when you're 3-1 down, if he's not doing what he's doing, we're not getting back in that game. And Ruben rolled the dice. And tonight, for the first time, I can safely say the substitutes died and killed it for him. They completely did. Because of them bringing on the likes of Marcus Rashford and Joshua Zirkzee, who, let's be fair, are not good enough, and came on absolutely scared shitless of doing anything and didn't want to take the wrath of 75,000 fans, because the fans were asking for something. The fans were demanding something from this. When it comes to big-name players, like we've seen there, Rashford being put to the bench, you just mentioned it with Onana, Jay. I wanted to bring up them other players there. He took Bruno off. He's dropped Rashford. He's not starting for 2 straight games right now after scoring a brace against Everton, that is. He's made big calls. Is he willing to make a huge call and take Andre Onana out of this side? Because the man cannot kick a football. He's passing alone. Before we even got to the saves that he could have and should have made easily in that game there, his passing, his distribution is an absolute disgrace. I'm not even going to mince my words with that. And I don't care what anybody says to come back at me. He cannot kick a ball straight. He is useless with his feet. He's putting United completely under pressure every single time with stupid ankle passes that are not even hitting their targets. They're not fast enough. We don't pass with zip. We're too slow at the back. It starts with him. He holds on to the ball for too long. He doesn't release it. He doesn't come out of his box. He doesn't command his box. He doesn't command his goal line or his 6-yard box. He just looks scared, completely scared again. And today, I thought he was the main reason why Manchester United lost that game. Because parts of Ruben Amorim's game were there. 70% possession again, looking after the ball better. We had chances. We hit the bar twice. We created some moments in that game. But we've got a keeper doing that, Jay, then I'm with you. I think he needs to make a call. I think I'd rather have Tom Heaton in goal. I still think Heaton is a better keeper than Andre Onana. And Ruben Amorim has come out, Jay, and said, look, he saved us against Ipswich. We need to find a way to take the pressure off Onana when he has a bad day and score goals. Fair enough, I get that. We didn't take our chances and we played scared. So when someone else has a bad game, especially a goalkeeper, it looks even worse. But where were the team when it came to scoring the goals and helping him out is what Amorim was saying. But Jay, honestly, I just look at him and I just look. He's just, even when he's playing well, he fills me with pure nerves. He makes me feel so uncomfortable. He just never looks confident at all, mate. And that alone, for me, is a massive concern right now, because it shouldn't be the main priority when it comes to transfer window. But we're going to have to look, Jay.
Okay, on Onana, just look at 2 games, 5 goals conceded, 3 from corners. I would argue 3 of those 5 goals are on him. Anytime I've seen Onana in live at Old T, I've always picked up on what you said there. Too many touches on the ball. Ball comes to Onana, if you watch him, between 3 and 5 touches nearly every single time. And that gives the opposition ample time to reset their lines. His passing from the back is as predictable as a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie. The amount of times I've seen Maguire or Evans or one of the centre backs screaming at him to move the ball faster, and he ignored centre backs. So we had a shot stopper in David De Gea, And this narrative got spun by another fan channel, if you recall, about how we needed a keeper that could move the ball from the back and distribute. So apparently we got that, but we ended up with a worse goalkeeper. So the question is, no player is undroppable. So maybe perhaps Amorim needs to send a message to Onana. You're dropped, mate. And I agree with you. I think goalkeeper, Tom Heaton, is a better goalkeeper than Onana. That I would agree with 100,000%. And during Ten Hag's time, I was advocating to drop Onana and play Heaton, but of course that never happened. So I think that should send a message to him. It's a away game in Victoria Pinson. You would imagine that's a gimme easy victory. Drop the goalkeeper. Because with Man City coming next Saturday, Onana has got to be top of his game. And if you're watching Onana after today, as you said, mate, he looks scared. Doesn't come out of his box, doesn't come for crosses, and doesn't come out his defenders. He's playing scared. So if your goalkeeper is playing scared, that permeates through your entire side.
This is the concern massively for Ruben Amorim. A huge concern in terms of where he goes. There's just too many players right now. I'm looking at the poll that we've got set up here. Like, Dalot, he's got 14% of that vote. He was getting pure dogged abuse after the game today as well. The substitutions, I said it to Kaz. She was sat next to me. I said, we're paying more money. So Jim Ratcliffe has come out and said that Manchester United need to move forward. Manchester United are an embarrassment, basically, and big decisions need to be made. I'm sorry, if big decisions, and you're calling out these big decisions, Jim, about upping the prices of tickets, having the balls to make them calls, then you need to make the biggest call of all, which is turfing Marcus Rashford out of this football club. Because, again, we can go on about everybody else at this club, but there's one man that's been there longer than anyone, and I'm not banging that Rashford drum again. I'm not repeating myself. I think it's there for everyone to see. Again, he comes on. If he's not starting a game, then he's not interested. He really isn't. I've never seen a man run so scared after coming on the pitch. And I said this to Kaz when I was sat there. Look, I didn't expect much from him. I said, look, he's bringing Garnacho off. The hope that we've got here right now is Marcus Rashford. That's our hope of winning the game. I turned to Kaz. I went, we've got a better chance of Elanga catching us on the bench here and a returning player embarrassing us and us losing this 4-2. This game is done. As soon as Bruno came off, I said, that's it. We're done. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who is on that pitch. We're not going to create anything. The keeper didn't have a save to make. There was the odd little shot that went over the bar, a few corners, a free kick. It was just dead and done and dusted. If we are relying on Rashford coming on off the bench to be Manchester United's saviour, or in fact him starting a game, we are not going to get anywhere. Rasmus Højlund did his job to a certain degree. He got his goal. Obviously, he works harder. He gives us that little bit of something, but still, when you're relying solely on Marcus Rashford, Xerxes, players like that coming on off the bench to save you when you're out of need, you are not going to get anywhere. And that was proven again today. He just really does not care. And the fans are picking up on it. There was a few boos when Rashford walked on the pitch today, Jay, from the stands. The fans are not stupid. And the message I want to make here with this is, we are paying extra. There's a super chat in there. Block N2410 didn't go to the game today. And he knows, because he's found out that two people paid £132 for his 2 tickets to go to the game. And he says mugs on that. And the point I want to make in all of this is, we're paying more to watch Marcus Rashford play for Manchester United. The guy who's on 350 grand a week wages. We're paying more to watch that. There has to be a line drawn in this. And there was a banner at Old Trafford there today in the Stretford End. It's your debt, not ours. And a cross through the £66. The fans will not stand for it. There are standards and Ruben Amorim knows where they are. So Jim Ratcliffe knows where they are. But why are the fans suffering? We have to literally write this season off. I'm being told by people in the chat right now who are laughing at me because I backed this team and wanted to support Manchester United and thought that we could make top 4. Laughing at me. Well, who's laughing now? We're the ones that are watching Marcus Rashford and have to write a season off after the bleeding end of November. We're not even got into the new year yet, and everyone's saying we need to forget about it. Well, I'm sorry, no, I'm not willing to forget about it. I'm going to keep holding the standards, because right now, if we say, I told you so, we're not going to make top 4, then we're just letting Rashford get away with it. We need to keep pounding down and putting pressure on these players and asking them why you're not making top four, why you're not performing to take us to that level. Because if we do let them off and write this season off because it's a new manager and the mistake was made by not getting rid of Ten Hag in the summer, fucking bollocks. I've had enough of it. It's absolute crap. Unless we keep banging on about these players, then they're just going to get away with it. The fans are talking. Do you know what? In a way, Sir Jim Radcliffe has woken this fan base up to the reality that these are overpaid prima donnas, charlatans, as you call them, Jay. And if we keep on trying to raise our standards, or even keep our standards at a certain level, these players are going to keep on getting outed. So that's what I say to everybody who's laughing at me right now and saying that we just have to be realistic. Now, the realism is that these are overpaid. If they don't make top four, F off out of this football club. It's as simple as that. Just a little rant I wanted to have a little bit there, Jay. But anything you want to pick up from that, my man?
Okay, so Rash comes on at 59 minutes today. Okay, you're the so-called poster boy of the club. You're the local lad, blah, 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 who's moaning about taking buses to training, blah, blah, blah. You have a certain quarter of the fan base that would back you no matter what you do. You have 40 minutes to come on at home and make a difference. Your team was losing 3-2. You got 40 minutes. So if you have anything, if you have anything about you as a player, as a professional, or as a human being, you will run your bollocks off, at least put in some effort, bare minimum. And you couldn't do it today for 40 minutes. And you were paid in excess. I'd argue, if you took random 10 people in the live chat, you add up our incomes for a year, you're probably earning more in a month than we're already earning in a year. And that is what you produce today for these fans that are going to be paying triple and double tickets prices next year. You're a disgrace to your profession. I would have no issue if that man never wore a United jersey again. And you can clip me up on that, and I would stand by those words, Adam.
He is embarrassing. That's how I look at him. I really just don't want to look at him. Like, I just don't want to see his face again. I don't want to see his face at all. Thanks for that super chat from Block and highlighting that today, that people were paying £66 a ticket to go and watch that performance from certain Manchester United players. Tech Mate, welcome to the members club, along with all of the 10 that Modern Samurai earlier on donated to the show. Thank you again, mate, for that, and the other members. Welcome along. Welcome to anybody who has subscribed to the channel over the last 24 hours. There's been plenty of you as well. Shenanigans is in with a super chat as well. Thank you. Onana's fundamentals for a goalkeeper are so poor. He has slow reactions and is far too heavy set to get down low. He terrifies me. I just don't trust him. Another super chat from the Honest Tiger. Thank you, mate. Hi, Adam and Jay. You say the fans won't stand for it, but they still go and buy tickets, and the board know they will keep buying them. Yep, they do. And they went on open sale to get rid of them today. So it's getting to a point now where they're really having to force these tickets down people's throats. But what will happen is £66 a ticket isn't going to make a dent in making this team go back to where it wants to go. I've already seen Kieran Maguire's explanation on Manchester United finances. It's backfired on them instantly. There's nowhere near enough in raising these prices for these so-called tickets. It's completely flawed in the system that they're putting in. The reality is they'll save money in getting players off the books and bringing better players in. And that's where it is. That's the facts. That's where it needs to be hit. And do you know what? The plans, 2008, winning the league in 2028. Well, unless you act this summer, then you are not going to get there. You are not. You cannot keep any of these players that have been there failing consistently, season after season. We can go through the players in the squad if you want and earmark the ones that are destined to leave Manchester United or are not good enough for Manchester United. I seen one comment, just going back to Onana, Jay, a minute ago. He says, his shot has gone right down the middle of his goal and he's dived out of the way. He's dived out of the way.
But that's it. If you watch it again closely, it's not a powerful shot. I watched it on a, let's just say, a non-English channel, and Owen Hargreaves was there with Jermaine Defoe, and they were trying to make excuses for him, saying, oh, the ball took a spin at the last second and he's going to the left when the ball goes to the right. You're in the middle of the goal, mate. You are in the middle of the goal. The shot's at you. React. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not that fucking hard. You're a goalkeeper. Shot stopping 1-on-1. Stop your shot. That's it. No excuses. And for Wood's goal, I thought he was also out of position for Wood's goal as well.
Well, just got a tweet come up here. Morgan Gibbs-White has been talking. I don't want to discredit Onana. He's an incredible goalkeeper, but when I had the shot, I thought he was going to pick it up.
Boom. There you go. Mic drop moment right there. Boom. Thank you very much.
Put to bed.
Just what we said there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Instantly put to bed by a player that hit the shot in the game. Like, seriously, I don't know how much more we have to go in on this. Honestly, it's painful to talk about him. It really is right now. And I was talking about it on my fan vlog not outside, but inside the stadium before, Jay. And it's now got to a point where the fans just they don't want to give up on it, but it feels like they have done. The feeling of dejection within Old Trafford today was there, and it was worse than it ever was because we had hope. It's the hope that kills you. You said it at the start of the show, Jay. And you're looking at it, and we're thinking, right, what do we learn from Arsenal? What do we take away from that game? Ruben Amorim said himself, next time we play Arsenal, we'll have to defend set pieces better. I was there early at the game, Jake. I sat in the stands. I said this on my vlog earlier on as well. And me and Kaz and Millie were sat there watching Manchester United do their warm-up. Only the first 11 came out. The subs did not come out. The first 11 is there lining up, doing defensive drills. From in-play and movement and passing balls over the top, moving together as a team, to reacting to corners, coaches pushing players, doing corner drills, then free kick drills. And then 2 minutes into the game, it's gone. Instantly forgotten. And again, I don't understand. I can see what Amorim is doing. I can see what the coaches are doing. I can see what they're trying to get into these players. But the only thing I can come down to, and the only way I can sort of conclude it with what Manchester United are failing at, is the mental block that's in the players' heads. I don't think it's repairable. There are players there that are stand-out mentality monsters within this side. And I think we all know who they are. And honestly, Jay, I'm looking at it, I'm going, how do you concede a minute 30 into the game from a set piece again at the near post, and then literally 2 minutes into the second half, you concede and the game is gone? You're coming in fresh from the change room onto the pitch, and you should be ready. You should be, the senses should be heightened at that moment. You should be absolutely drilled and ready to go. And for United to just capitulate at that point, and this has happened before, this isn't a new thing, this is continuously happening all of the time with this team. I don't think it even matters what drills they run, what they do in training. Honestly, like we said, so there can be some players that just don't train well, but then turn up on the pitch. We know that there are players like that in the Premier League era, and there's probably still players like that now. Honestly, I just feel, I don't know how Ruben Amorim injects the confidence into this team, Jay, because like we said before, they're running scared. As soon as they went down 2-1, their heads completely fell off, and the only time that they actually showed any fight or willingness was when it got embarrassing at 3-1, and they had to do something. They don't have the capability to handle and manage a game, even with over 70% possession. That tells you everything you need to know there, Jay, that we've got that much possession and we're still losing games.
This goes back to the key word, mentality. And there's been a frail mentality manifested throughout the squad for at least the last 5 years. And Amorim has come in. Obviously, he's an excellent communicator. He's very charismatic. He's doing his level best to get the players onto his wavelength. We've gotten rid of all the old coaches. So when will the penny finally drop with these players? That need to stay switched on for the full 90 minutes, not be switched on for parts of a game. And how many times have we seen us go goal down early on in the game, then followed by second half early goal again? When will the penny drop at him? I honestly, maybe naively, thought with this new chap the penny would drop. But clearly it hasn't. I'm actually dumbfounded tonight because I don't have an answer.
Well, this is it. Here's an interesting quote from Ruben Amorim from the press conference. Just read this out. Ruben Amorim on why Xerxes and Rashford haven't started since scoring against Everton. You have to focus on the opponent and what you see in training. Every detail counts. And then you want to use different players with different characteristics. I think that tells you everything you need to know. He's not seeing anything in these players. I think he's talking with his lineups, Jay, there with that one. What do you reckon?
So he's saying their key phrase from there is what you see in training.
Yeah.
So what he sees in training is obviously very, very negative from those two.
Very little, it would seem.
Yeah, very little. Lack of intensity, lack of work rate, and clearly not buying into the structure that he requires. But at the same time, then he still brings on Rashford. So if he's already flagged that he's not getting what he wants from him, why then do you bring him on at 59 minutes? Sure, he's sitting a bench, you leave the fucker on the bench.
Do you feel like he's doing it simply because he hasn't got anyone else there to bring on? He feels he needs to change something because Rasmus might be knackered. It's not working for Garnacho. I mean, Garnacho was not doing anything in that game at all. He was really struggling again. He looks short of confidence, even though he is contributing in moments and his numbers are holding up and he has got goal involvements. He's just not doing it. Again, does this go to show that it needs to be someone different than Marcus Rashford that's there right now?
But if your default substitute when you're losing at home is Marcus Rashford and you know what he's going to give you, then you've got a major problem with your benchmate. Huge problem. And we naively, Adam, you as well, you were naive. You said that our bench never been stronger. But if our default option on the bench when it's going wrong is Rashford, then we're screwed.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. It's just not enough quality. He does think that he has made it. He walks around that pitch. Instantly in that game when he came on, everybody in the stadium picked up on it. And again, I don't want to just keep banging this drum, but until this man is out, it's not going to change. It really isn't. And there was a moment where he's chasing a player around. I say chasing lightly because he was doing his usual. he was doing his usual sort of like Rashford little saunter around there. Oh, just jog up behind him. Bang! Player plays the ball through, and they were in. They got caught for offside just. But it was Rashford's man who was right next to. He just doesn't put the effort in. I'm actually, do you know what? In a way, and I'm trying to talk myself out of this slump that I'm in right now because I am so fed up and dejected, like I said at the top of the show. I'm looking at this and I'm going, he's burying himself right now, Marcus Rashford. His attitude is just unbelievably shocking. We don't even have to go into what he was like after the game against Arsenal. He does not give a flying F-bomb, honestly, about Manchester United, what the fans think, or what his teammates are doing. He does not care. And Ruben Amorim saying that he's not seen anything in training. He didn't say that. He didn't say that directly. He said you've got to look at what you see in training and use the characteristics for a certain game. For him to drop Rashford for the second game in a row tells you everything you need to know. And he touched on it after the Arsenal game about Rashford's attitude, his performance, and he wouldn't be led into answering them questions. But again, I think he's answering, and I'll go say it again, he's answering with his team selections right now. He's answering with actions. And actions speak a lot louder than words for me. And I think I know where Rashford is in the pecking order right now. And it's slowly going down and down and down. And I think he's top of the list for players that really need to be out of this football club. I'm going to get into some of the comments, so if you've got any questions, please do get them in. Andy says, when the subs came on, we started pressing like the under-10s. Forrest just kept passing round 5 headless chickens. Christopher says, that's why the rat is a business. He sees the pound signs like the Glazers, and that's the only reason he got involved. Jeffrey says, never like Zonal. You hand the initiative to those attacking. I'm barely 5'8", but always managed to beat goal side at the least a challenge for the ball. Ruben Amorim on that in terms of conceding from corners, Jay. He basically says, it don't really matter if you go man-to-man or zonal marking. We need to improve in that area. And everyone in the stadium feels that goal. You can put men on men with the biggest guy and the biggest guy of your team and them and they block your biggest guy. He's talking a bit of gibberish there, but I think I sort of get what he says. Like, it doesn't matter who marks who. You will always get blocked out. People are being very clever. And I think Manchester United are susceptible to set pieces right now. It's clear that Amorim was working on it, like I said before the game, but Nuno obviously seen an opportunity there. And again, Jay, they hit the woodwork from a corner as well. Every corner that was coming in, it was like watching Arsenal all over again. United look weak. And I think it comes back to having a commanding goalkeeper in there as well, Jay.
Adam, I think it absolutely positively does matter who's marking who. Of course it does. Why is Martinez? I know he's on marking, blah, 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 but Martinez is on a player who's about 6 inches taller than them and bosses him, score from the corner kick. Euro, a lot of people probably won't pick up on how poor Euro was against Chris Wood. If you watch the replay again, Euro checks back, sees Chris Wood, and does not get in his face at all, and gets beaten badly by Chris Wood. And that ball just loops across. I don't think Chris Wood was even directing that at goal. It was a hopeful header across the ball. But watch what Yara does. He checks back. He knows Chris Wood is there and doesn't get tight in Chris Wood. So, yes, it does matter. 100%.
Yeah, God. It's painful, isn't it? Looking at this team right now, thank you for the donated membership as well, James. Absolutely love that. Keep your comments coming in. Quickly, I'll just do a couple more actually before we move on. Sad truth that many don't want to accept De Gea wins us this match. We are bad, but we were good enough to win today. Onana threw it. Onana cost us. I think that's the words that I used on my match vlog. Like, that guy is a joke. He literally killed us today. He was shocking. Amorim said it's enough times that they don't trust their abilities. They do need to start to show up, especially the subs. Amorim is desperate for alternatives, but they don't present themselves. That's a good point there from Pedro. It's like they don't want to work when they come on. We need alternatives. We need another option. And they're just not willing to give him one. And I think that is quite damning. I think that's bang on the money right there with that. Jay, if you're looking at everyone who played there today, just for instance from this game, and you're looking at positives and you're looking at players that Ruben Amorim can use in the future, out of everybody, including the substitutes that was on that pitch today, who would you take forward?
That's a great question. Great question. I've made no secret of how much I like Delit for his consistency. I take Delit, take Mazraoui, I take Ahmed, I take Hoyland, obviously. Took his goal very, very well. And after that, Bruno as well. I think Bruno has surprised me playing so well in the pivot beside Regade, and I felt today that was a mistake. I would like to have seen that happen again and Mount play at 10. So yeah, that's what I'm taking from today. How about yourself?
Yeah, honestly, Ahmad, Agate, Bruno, I love them players. I like Delit. I like Mazraoui, obviously. I want to see more of Yoro. I don't want to condemn him at the moment. He's coming at the deep end, to say the least. He's got time, so I'll stick with him. I don't know. Like, right now, Hoyland can work off someone else. I get that. Took his chance again there today, but going off just today, that's it. Really? I thought Leacher was appalling today, by the way. I don't think anyone's even picked up on it. I thought he was awful. And he's been doing all right. He's just come back fresh as well. I think Mainu struggled to get into the game. I would take Mainu alongside Agate. I think Mainu's only just coming back and needs to be given a bit more time. And I think it's only fair that he does get that time. But I'm struggling there. Like, in the whole squad, Jay, I think we've maybe got, and if we look at like a 25-man squad, I think I've got about 7 or 8 that I'm confident in. And that tells you everything you need to know and where this squad is at. And the recruitment, the lack of culture, everything that is wrong with Manchester United is in how many players this fan base would actually keep at the team in the club right now.
So you're confident in less than 40% of the current squad?
Yeah. Honest, hand on heart, that is where I'm at right now with this team.
Well, is that not compounded then by where we are in the Premiership at the moment? 13th place.
Yeah.
We have 7 or 8 decent players from our entire squad. And we are exactly, Adam, where we should be based on that analysis, are we not?
Yeah, God. We are going to be very busy. I don't know where the money comes from to get what we need. Can we get what we need in one window? No. I think Ruben Amorim needs as many windows as Ten Hag got, which is 3 summer windows. We can't go in on the manager at all at the moment. We gave Ten Hag his time. He had the 2 years. We need to give Ruben Amorim the same time. The only hope that we've got, and I keep saying it, I bang on about it every single show, is the only hope we have got is that Inos are in situ now and they are watching this. Their whole plan of turning this club around could fall flat on its face. Their first season in charge of Manchester United is our worst season on record right now. And that's under their stewardship. This has to change. This has to be the biggest reaction of all from what we're seeing this season. And I think that's where everything moves on from there, Jay.
Yeah, and we're going to learn nothing from the Europa League game on that Thursday night.
Oh, well, do you know what? When it comes to that Europa League game, I'll say it at the time, but I'll say it right now. That now needs to be priority for Manchester United. Simple. That's it.
Yeah, and then City next weekend. And we all know what's going to happen with City when City coming off a bad run of form. I say I'm looking at that game with trepidation next weekend is a gross understatement.
Yeah, and to think me and Kels were sat there laughing in the game, like City drawing 2-2 with Palace, going in with a bit of hope, like, yes, look at this. City are losing, there's another chance here. Newcastle lost. Other teams are dropping points again, and we've just completely been cut adrift. And that's the hardest bit to take for me. It really is. And I'm just struggling with it. I really am. I'm just actually heart on my sleeve at the moment, and I just I hate this team and this club at the moment. I really do, and the way things are going. I know it needs time, but right now, as an instant reaction, that's just how I feel. Just being honest, and it is hard to take. It is drastically hard to take. But Jay, we're going to wrap things up there. Thanks for coming on, buddy. It was a tough one, a tough watch. And hopefully we can get a better result on Thursday. In fact, I'm quite confident that we will get a reaction. Surely we will get a reaction on Thursday, Jay.
Well, Thursday we're playing against the beer company, are we not? So I think we should do them, to be fair.
God, there's no hope for us if we don't, honestly. At least we can solidify ourselves in the Europa League positions right now on Thursday. That's about it. But all the super chats, all the donations, all new subscribers as well, of which there have been many just today alone. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And yeah, the content continues. Back in the morning, everybody. And for now, that's it. We're going to go and lick our wounds yet again. United lose at home again. And we're looking at possibly 3 defeats in a row in the league if City do us next weekend. And like Jay said, I'm with him. I'm dreading it. I really am. But thank you, everybody. We suffer together. We're United fan base that are not happy. I'm just glad that we have got this community here on FUTV and we can have our conversations and therapy sessions because they're much needed. And I think we're going to need a few more going through this season. Cheers, everybody. United lose. We move on. Another game next week. And let's hope we can turn it around. Thank you, everyone.